shit, yeah, they bread stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I could see through the facade like an...
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Mad Matty Fight Talk. Your host here, Mad Matty, once again with my co-host, Crazy Chris. We got a big fight coming up. Just announced today or yesterday, whatever, here nor there. May 7th, UFC 274 is going to have two banger of fights. We got the light heavyweight title between Glover Texeira and Jiri Prochazka, and the co-main event is going to be Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. Boy, are we in for a treat. What do you think about this fight card? Does this light your little fire over there? What do you think?
I mean, first of all, the UFC has been starting off with a bang. Who, as a fight fan right now, is not excited, not only for the PFL's upcoming tournament, the Bellator's upcoming tournament, but now we got fights like this being set up by the UFC. I think we're in prime time UFC. I think we're getting to what we can call the golden age. We're past that human cockfighting BS. Now we're on to fights like this where we can be excited as fight fans. Good job, UFC.
Well, I agree. I think the UFC has been putting on spectacular fight cards. I mean, some of the fight nights, the main events for sure, but the rest of the card, I'm like, I know that you guys are trying to get these people some airtime, but anyway, pay-per-views, definitely worth the money. They jacked the price up a little bit, but it's definitely worth the money. Let's start off with the light heavyweight title. Glover Texeira recently crowned the king, beat Jan Blachowicz, captured the gold at 42 years young. He's going to be taking on the rising star, #1 contender, Jiri Prochazka. What do you think about this fight? What do you think about this matchup, and what do you think about stylistically?
Man, I love this matchup so much. I'm so thankful that the UFC has matchmaking ability like this. You know, before it was, and in certain weight classes, it still is a hold-up game, right? But now we're seeing Jan Blachowicz not only not argue the point, he says, hey, you know what? Let the next guy get his chance. I'll be back for mine. Perfect weight class to let it happen into. And now we have one of the better fights going on, Jiri versus, again, Glover Texeira, a veteran of the game. So very excited.
I'm very excited as well. 33-7, Glover Texeira is 5-0 in his last 5, 8-2 in his last 10. On the flip side of that, you got Prochazka's 28, 3-1, 5-0 in his last 5, and 10-0 in his last 10. And I believe he's on a 13-fight win streak right now.
How old is Jiri?
Jiri's 29 years old.
29 years old, okay.
And that to me is going to play a factor in this fight. I'm not even going to hold back. I'm going to get right into it. Jiri Prochazka, what he did to Dominic Reyes was absolutely unbelievable. He literally was untouchable and embarrassed what is one of the most dangerous light heavyweights and made him look like a rookie. So Glover Texeira has his hands full in this fight, to say the least. But I mean, stylistically, I like it because it's your good old fashioned striker versus grappler. This is really what it's going to come down to. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be a striker versus grappler? Or do you think that Glover's actually going to try and stand with somebody who I think is on an elite striking level?
Well, obviously, after watching Jiri's last performance, if you're in Glover's team and you're part of his head coaching department, everything absolutely not do you want to do with the feet. He's everything Glover's had trouble with, plus mystery box, right? Because Jiri's style of fighting isn't 1-1-2, 1-1 high kick. It's none of this 1-2-3, 4-5-6 even, right? It's a jab, spinning back kick, left jumping elbow, flying knee, spinning back fist. I mean, you can't predict those type of combinations. And when Glover has a problem with is heavy punchers. Obviously, we haven't seen a lot of Jiri's ground game, so this would be a good opportunity for the champ to try to defend his title for the first time by taking this fight directly to the ground if you're in that corner. If you're Jiri, you do everything you can to get your explosive drills in. You know, you're 29 years old. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to take a shot of vodka, go in there and handle business at this peak of your career and where you are performance-wise. Obviously, with that power, I'm taking Jiri Prochazka by vicious KO round 1.
For those of you who don't know who Prochazka is, he came over from Ryzen. He was an absolute monster over there. We're talking an 80-inch reach versus 76-inch reach. We're talking 6'3" versus 6'2", fast, lean. Glover's 42 years old. I love the guy. I respect everything he's done. But you got to think, of 42 years old, all the fight camps you've been through, all the fights you've been through, you've taken a lot of damage. And to me, Prochazka is a new era version of John Jones. Glover happened to have fought John Jones for the title and got absolutely destroyed. I think that Jiri is going to do exactly what you said. Look, I can't sit here and debate that Glover's going to win this fight. The only way he wins is if he can take Prochazka down and keep him on the ground. I don't think he's going to be able to get in and touch Prochazka and wrestle him the way he wants to. I think he's going to get knocked out going in for a takedown brutally.
What happens? What do you think happens if this fight drags into the later rounds? Does Jiri have a chance in the round 4 and 5 though to knock him out if Glover can get this fight into the later rounds?
Yes, I think he's going to hurt Glover right away. I think Glover's stand-up is not near the level of a Prochazka, bro. He's going to have absolute trouble trying to dance with this guy, trying to even touch him, trying to get engaged in a grappling match is going to be really, really hard. But we're talking about Glover here. This is a really, really good fighter, and he's very smart. So I'm not going to throw him under the bus because I do respect him. But at the same time, a guy like Prochazka is something that he's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to throw. You don't know what he's planning on doing. It's very hard to game plan for somebody like that. Like you said, though, we haven't seen his ground game. If it does go to the ground and he's able to do what he did to Blachowicz, I mean, obviously that's going to be an easy W. But for all we know, this dude throws up submissions from his back. We haven't seen that. I just don't think it's going to get to that point is what I'm trying to say.
Look, I just want to say, first and foremost, all of this is guess, right? I'm just guessing, and I'm doing my educated work on looking into these fighters and this and that. And I have to let's look at the plain fact. The man's 42 years old. The guy he's fighting is a monster 29-year-old who's going to have the next 4 or 5 years of domination if he can keep that up, in his belt. You know what I mean? So for me to say that Glover's going to go out there and destroy him, it's kind of hard. Does he have technique? Yes. Does he have ground? Check. Does he have experience? Check. But the one thing that he doesn't have, Jiri has, and that's youth, explosiveness, excitement, a hunger to be there, a desire to want. He's finally hit that mountainous peak. If this was a fight ago, I wouldn't be arguing the point. Glover Texeira might just pull the big upset, right? But it's not a fight ago. He's already hit that mountain peak. He's already hit the top of his career. He's hung around for that championship. So there's no arguing it. I have to take Jiri Prochazka.
I'm just going to quote Nicki Minaj on this, right? Starships were meant to fly. Jiri Prochazka is the top contender. He is the rising star. He's had 2 fights in the UFC, and he's already fighting for the belt. That says a lot to me. That says the UFC knows what's coming. Realistically, I think
look at who he knocked out though. Dominic Reyes, man, impressive performance against John Jones, probably the GOAT of our era, decade, generation, whatever you want to say. The man's an absolute monster. And Dominic Reyes went in there and absolutely put on a performance. And then to get knocked out the way he did with no problem at all by Jiri Prochazka, it's kind of hard for anybody to go in there and actually say that Glover's going to take him down, secure the W. He's old and he's been put away by a lot of big punchers.
Like you said, dude, he's sipped from the fountain of youth and he's well past that. He's in the old man times. He's captured the gold. He's accomplished his goals. He's had 2 title fights. Jiri Prochazka in his whole career has had already like 3 or 4 title fights. So I think, this isn't including the UFC.
I think we're seeing a reintroduction of maybe a not as popular, but talent-wise, as skillful-wise, Conor McGregor, right? Just a guy who came in from the European division and he's ready to explode on the scene. Just like Anderson Silva came in, nobody knows who this guy is, and he puts Chris Lieben away within 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we're seeing that again.
Look, it didn't take much for Prochazka to blow up, and honestly, I love that they gave him a title shot because he's not Reyes out with a spinning elbow. Like, let's be real here. Who does that? Nobody hurts Reyes like that. And to be honest, he arguably won the fight against John Jones. So we're talking about him possibly beating the greatest fighter and getting absolutely KO'd and not even barely touching Prochazka in that fight.
I forgot about this. He also fought Jan Blachowicz and got his nose broken, right? So Dominic Reyes did go in there after 2 losses in a row. So does that knock anything off of the impressive knockout? No, it doesn't. Dominic Reyes is a massive man. The man could have been an NFL pro. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about Jiri coming into the big show, the UFC, having 2 fights and knocking out somebody like as high level, high profile as Dominic. I have to take him going into it. If this was Jan Blachowicz, this would be a harder decision.
So
right?
so let's do this. Let's do this.
But the Glover's age is what's giving me the go ahead.
How are we predicting this fight, and who are you going for? I'll let you go first, real quick.
I'm going with Jiri Prochazka, round 1 or round 2 TKO KO.
I'm gonna take Jiri Prochazka as well. And like I said, we don't talk about this beforehand, but I cannot go against this guy. And I'm gonna take him in round 2 KO, because I think the first round Glover is gonna absolutely try to drag this to the ground. And I don't think Yuri's gonna be able to get off the way he wants to right away. He's gonna have to defend some takedowns. He's gonna have to show some grit.
Legs.
And I think he's gonna brutally knock this man out in the very next round of that fight. So that is how I think that's going. Once again, guys, let us know what you think in the comments. This is a good fight. It just really depends what style you like. I mean, if you think he can out grapple him, let me know. But as far as
there's no right or wrong answers. Again, this is everybody's throwing a Hail Mary when we're guessing about fighting with 4-ounce gloves. But leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think, and let us know, who you're excited to see come up next.
Moving right along to the co-main event of UFC 274, the champ, Charles Oliveira, Charlie Olives, taking on the newly crowned number one contender, Justin the Highlight Gaethje.
The people's champ.
I'm not going to lie. My hair stood up when I saw that they've actually made this fight. 1, because Justin Gaethje absolutely deserves it. And 2, because Charles Oliveira, the king of making people look stupid, is getting to put on an absolute legacy, and he is not shying away from the top talent in that division. This fight is a dream matchup for me. What do you think about it?
Man, it's a toss-up, right? The 155 class is so deep. It's so hard to be a UFC rostered 155er with a bright future when you're looking at the top 10 of that division. Absolute monsters. So hats off for getting that fight done. Congratulations to Justin Gaethje. It's not an easy task to get that second opportunity at a title shot, and I think he goes in there and makes the most of it. I'm going to go with the Colorado native. I think Justin Gaethje gets it away with his big, heavy hands. He had a lot of opportunities for Michael Chandler, a lot of opportunities for Dustin Poirier, but there's somebody out there that still has decent grappling. Does he check all the boxes in jiu-jitsu? No. Does he check the wrestling? Probably in his career now a little bit sloppier of a wrestler, but does he have the power and put away Charles Oliveira? Absolutely does, and I think he puts him away early, but I think he puts him away maybe midway through the fight in round 3. Well,
that's nice to know that you're going for Justin Gaethje right off the bat. And Justin Gaethje is coming off a fight of the year performance in my eyes. He's got 19 KOs, TKOs in his entire career. He's had 8 career title fights. So that to me is the biggest check mark in his box going into this fight, is that he's had so much title experience. But I'm going to go the complete opposite route. I'm going with the underdog every single time. People love to doubt this man. Charles Oliveira has reinvented himself. He has constantly shut people up. And to me, it's the same old story. Oh, this guy's got power. He's can kind of wrestle. He's going to knock him out, dude. I do not see it happening. I see Oliveira slipping and ripping, getting Justin Gaethje to throw, thinking he's going to knock him out. And I see him doing the good old, let me take your back and choke you the F out. I really think Charles Oliveira is going to win this fight. He's 10-0 in his last 10. I mean, what else is there to say? He's just been absolutely dominating.
Would it be crazy? Would it be crazy if he gets a rear naked on Justin, and then that would mean him and Khabib would both have got rear nakeds on both of those guys?
Well, that's funny that
in championship fights.
It would be funny. It's actually funny that you said that, because Khabib championship fight choked Justin Gaethje out the same way that Charles Oliveira choked out Dustin Poirier. The thing I like about Charles Oliveira.
Go ahead.
The thing I like about Charles Oliveira is that he has a way of neutralizing outstanding strikers. One, he fought Poirier like toe-to-toe for the first round, and then did what he wanted to do in the second round.
Absolutely.
Now, Justin Gaethje, on the other hand, I mean, even though he lost to Dustin Poirier in his career, that dude is no joke standing up. He hits extremely hard. But at this point in his career, is he going to knock him out? I don't think so. He didn't knock out Michael Chandler. He didn't knock out Tony Ferguson. Not that I'm saying these guys are easy to knock out. I'm just saying he didn't do it. Is he going to knock out Charles Oliveira? I don't think so.
All right, listen to me. All right, listen. Justin Gaethje has deadliest leg kicks in the weight division. Check off. Grit and toughness. Check. Oliveira, grit and toughness. Check. Jiu-jitsu goes to Ollie, okay? Check there. Wrestling goes to Justin, check there. Punching power, Justin. Technique, Oliveira. We have a toss-up here. I'm going with who I think is going to happen. I think Justin's going to go out there, throw caution to the wind, and his leg kicks are going to become freight trains, and his punching is going to be bricks. And I think he's going to lay Oliveira out, and I think he has the finishing ability to do that. If Oliveira uses his technique and gets through the big power punches in the early rounds, he has a great chance of doing the same thing he did to Dustin Poirier.
That's a good point that you brought up, because that's going to be the most interesting part of this fight, is that Justin Gaethje does have very dangerous leg kicks. Now, is Oliveira either going to check them or use that for a takedown? Because that is where I'm curious to see. If Oliveira just eats those, it's going to set up Gaethje's hands, and Gaethje's, if he lands on you, it's going to hurt. And Oliveira obviously shows that he's capable of getting dropped back-to-back fights. He's been dropped twice, but he's came back and won. So the toughness I love on both sides. I mean, don't get me wrong here, man. I love Justin Gaethje. I love me some Justin Gaethje. But Charles Oliveira is just too dangerous. He's way too many ways to win, and he's an underrated striker. I think Gaethje is going to go through the same problems that Poirier did. He's going to realize real quick, like, oh shit, this guy is a lot better standing up than I thought he was going to be. Because everybody gives these heavy hitters the automatic, you're going to knock him out. You're going to knock him out.
This is one thing, though. This is one thing I want you to consider, okay? This is the reason that I don't fight anymore, is I don't want to get knocked out anymore. I don't want to take these heavy punches. And when you're rolling the dice like Charles Oliveira, and you have hungry contender after contender after contender dropping you, and you won the belt getting dropped twice, you defended it getting dropped twice. What with a third time is going to get any better? It's going to get worse. We're going to see a Chuck Liddell decline. Charles Oliveira is in his prime, and he better hope that he holds on to that for as long as he can, because if he keeps getting dropped the way that he is, it's going to be a short run. And the second thing I want to say is Justin Gaethje made Tony Ferguson shake his head like a dog. So don't you ever talk about Justin's punching power.
Well,
there.
Let's look at it this way.
He has an amazing coach in Colorado, Mile High. I think he has a great teammate in Kamaru Usman and Rose Namajunas. I think he goes in there and gets it done.
I'm not saying that you're wrong at any of those points. He does an outstanding coach, outstanding team.
That's my points. That's all I'm saying. That's my points.
But if we're talking about damage being taken, we're talking Justin Gaethje. He had to go and get a new coach, because he was literally brawling every fight and just eating him on the chin to trade him. And it was a great style. It worked out for him, but he realized that he can't do his whole career like that. So if we're talking about people taking damage, he's kind of in the same boat, although he has been fighting a lot smarter of recent. Look, dude, this is a toss-up. And we're going to hear arguments back and forth on this until this fight happens. This is a lot closer than what I think Jiri Prochazka and Glover Texeira is going to be. But I'm going to go Charles Oliveira clearly here. I think he's going to tap him out in the third round. I think it's in some way he is going to strangle this man, because you're right. Maybe Gaethje drops him, and then you know what he's going to do? He's going to go in for the finish and get caught in an armbar. That's it doesn't matter what Gaethje does. He's going to run into problems, because submissions are going to come from anywhere. That's how I feel about it.
Well, the one thing that I don't want any business to go through is having a trouble running a business card, maybe even a credit card, some sort of a debit card. We're partnered here with Lightspeed Payments. Let's talk about those guys for a second. Lightspeed Payments processes your payments at Lightspeed, 24-hour funding and customer service around the clock. So get all your processing needs at www.lightspeed-payments.com. 20% off if you use the code MadMattyFightTalk. I appreciate everybody that reaches out to us and leaves comments. Go ahead and leave a comment below and let us know who you think is going to win in this amazing 155 title fight that the UFC got lined up. Go ahead and take us back, Mad Matty.
Yeah, like Chris said, man, thanks for all the love and support, guys. Hit us with a comment. Hit the bell icon below so you can be notified when we drop more content. And yeah, I'm very curious to who you guys think is going to win, who you guys think is going to be the new or stay the current light heavyweight champ, and also who you guys think is going to take home the 155 belt in the most prolific division in the UFC right now.
One of our goals, guys, as soon as we get monetized, our goal is to have live announcements as fights are going on, the pay-per-views that people unfortunately can't pay for. We're going to actually buy those and start doing it live. So please tell your friends to subscribe. We definitely appreciate every supporter. So let us know what you guys think in the comment below, and we appreciate you guys.
Peace out.
Hey, haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an